Hey guys, what's cracking? This Krakenation. I'm coming at you guys today to talk about Grimmsnarl. This is a Generation 8 new typing we saw with Dark Fairy. It is the final evolution of the Impadimp line. So people are pretty excited because this is a brand new typing combination. Before we dive into the video today, I just like to kind of give a brief shout out to all you guys that have just this outcry of support that has come from you guys in these past few days as I've been uploading these videos. It's just been so motivational to me. It does mean the world to me. I've been making videos for a long time now, for many years actually, for like 4 years, and as you can see, my channel's not very big, and that's okay. I don't do this for the recognition. I do it because I want to help people. I feel like I enjoy making content, and I enjoy putting videos out there that can help people learn how to play competitive Pokemon. So if you do kind of enjoy this video, if you do want to keep up to date with what I'm doing and expand your Pokemon knowledge base, if you will, if you enjoy what I'm putting out there and you want to support this channel and support me and what I'm doing here, make sure you guys drop a comment in the comment section below. I always try to respond to everyone. Leave a like, and most of all, if you want to subscribe, that would absolutely just mean the world to me, definitely. I just really appreciate you guys that take the time to just drop those positive comments that you guys have been doing. Really makes me feel good. But anyways, let's get into Grimmsnarl here. So Grimmsnarl is a Dark Fairy type, like I was saying, a brand new typing that leaves you with 3 weaknesses to Fairy, and then also Poison and Steel. I think Bug it's now neutral to. Fighting it's now neutral to. So it's got some pretty interesting rare weaknesses, I guess. So it's pretty powerful in that sense. Its abilities are Prankster, Frisk, and Pickpocket. So right off the bat, Prankster obviously is an ability that gives all of your non-attacking moves, so all your status effect moves, +1 priority, so they always move first, unless it gets opposing priority. Frisk, Pickpocket, neither of those are going to see much competitive viability. Pickpocket, I guess, could, and Frisk theoretically could, but Prankster will usually be the one to go with, albeit the fact that Grimmsnarl is not a Pokemon really made well to take advantage of Prankster effectively. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but you guys have been really requesting I do Grimmsnarl. A lot of people have requested Grimmsnarl, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this competitive analysis. So right off the bat, we're going to get into these stats here. So we're going to take a look at these stats. It's got 95 HP, 120 attack, 65 defense, 95 special attack, 75 special defense, and 60 speed. So first off the bat, that attack stat's what's going to be what stands out to you. 120 attack is really good, especially when you consider the fact that this thing doesn't have to invest in speed because it's already so freaking slow. You're going to be able to afford to run those adamant natures, those attack boosting natures, and get to hit things really hard. So definitely, it's also got the coverage to utilize that attack stat really effectively. It also has a pretty nice special attack stat, definitely nothing to scoff at. 95 special attack stat is actually pretty decent. It's got some special moves too. It's got special coverage, special stabs, so it's got some options. I think a mixed set could be very viable on this thing. Notably, its defensive stats aren't great. It's got probably average to below average bulk, I would say, which is going to make utilizing Prankster, especially because move pool for Prankster isn't fantastic, utilizing Prankster is going to be a little tricky. 60 speed is obviously also pretty bad. You're not going to really be investing in speed either, so you're basically conceding the fact that you're going to be taking hits because you're so slow. So Prankster obviously serves to mitigate that when you're using status moves, but I think just the way that this Pokemon is oriented, it's oriented like an offensive tanky Pokemon, but it doesn't have the ability to really tank the hits, and it's not fast. And then Prankster isn't really good on offensive Pokemon. When we think about really good Prankster users, we think about things like Klefki that have these really wide support move pools and are able to use it effectively because of that. So it's gonna the verdict is still out on if Grimmsnarl will be good or not. I'm gonna lean towards no for now, but you guys are definitely open to make your own opinions, and I'm gonna go into some potential notable moves that you can run on Grimmsnarl here. So obviously, as you can see, Grimmsnarl's got a beastly offensive move pool. Sucker Punch, Play Rough, Crunch are I think the 3 moves you're always going to be looking at with this thing. Those are just offensive powerhouse moves. I think those are just pretty easy to always run. Sucker Punch is a really good option because it kind of mitigates that low speed stat. Then it's also got Dark Pulse. It's got Nasty Plot. So Nasty Plot boosts are going to make that special attack stat really threatening. It's got access to Dark Pulse, Dazzling Gleam, and so that's both of your stabs there. Focus Blast also furthermore, so it's got special coverage there. It's going to be able to hit those steel types. It's got the special coverage to utilize that special attack set, so don't sleep on a special Grimmsnarl set for sure. It's got fantastic physical coverage, things like Hammer Arm, Fire, Ice, Thunder Punch, Superpower. Power Whip, interestingly enough, is on this thing. So you can utilize Power Whip and really bash some heads in against like some water types. Also now, because this thing has Prankster, we need to take a look at these status moves, right? So these status moves become incredibly important on a move Pokemon like Grimmsnarl. Notably, it's got Thunder Wave, Light Screen, Reflect. It's got all of those. Taunt. It does have Reflect, even though I didn't list it here. Taunt is really notable on a Pokemon with Prankster because it can come in and taunt faster Pokemon, so that's pretty awesome. You can get those screen support up. Thunder Wave faster attacker is kind of similar to what a lot of Prankster Pokemon with Thunder Wave do. Klefki does it. Thundurus does it. So these Pokemon all do that in the past. Bulk Up is another option that I actually really like on Grimmsnarl because it lets you help boost your defensive stats and your offensive stats while you're also slower, so you can boost it before your opponent gets a chance to attack you. So I think Bulk Up has some real competitive viability on a Pokemon like Grimmsnarl. Trick is also a really cool ability because you could run like a banded Grimmsnarl with Prankster Trick. I think that could be a really, really good set. Unfortunately, it's not one of the sets I talk about here, but any of you guys out there who want to try a competitive Grimmsnarl set, I really think Choice Band Trick could be a really, really good set because it lets you just beat up on stall teams. It was just Choice Banded Trick would just absolutely punish stall teams because you could just trick your band to something that is being really annoying. Alternatively, that band with the power that this thing already has, let's just you beat through those things as well. So it's got a really good stall breaking potential in that regard. So let's get into some potential moveset here for you. So item leftovers here is what we're looking at. Ability Prankster, EVs, 252 HP, 252 attack, Adamant Nature. I'm calling this a utility attacker set. What's really nice about Grimmsnarl is how diverse it can be and what you need it to do. Like I talked about, you could also make this like a Choice Band Trick set and break through stall teams with it. But what I've got here is basically just a set that's going to be able to put offensive pressure on, hopefully. Then Thunder Wave with Prankster is a really, really good combo. I put Power Whip or Hammer on the last spot to just achieve some more coverage, but you could easily also slot into any of these moves. I think Crunch, Sucker Punch, you have to pick between one of those for that first move slot. So there's so much diversity here. Play Rough, you're always going to run on all Grimmsnarl sets, I figure. But then you could run like Thunder Wave, you could run Taunt, you could run Screen Support, you could run Trick, obviously, and then you could run any coverage moves. So really, these last couple spots, I think you're going to pick Crunch or Sucker Punch for your first move. Play Rough for your second move, and those last two spots, up to you. I just listed off a bunch of options you could run. Whether you want to be more utility-minded, more offensive-minded, that's all up to you. What you want to hit, what your team support requires, that's up to you, and that's what's you're gonna be deciding on. Next up, I've got a kind of spicy set that I cooked up here, and this is a bulk up sweeper set. Item with leftovers, ability, Prankster, EVs, 252 HP, 252 Spadef, Careful Nature, and this is what I was talking about, that bulk up. What you can do is you can bulk up, boost your physical defense as well before you take that physical hit. You've got some investment in special defense to help you on that side. Drain Punch is going to give you that additional recovery because it also gets Drain Punch. When Drain Punch gives you that additional recovery, Play Rough and Crunch are going to be your go-to stab moves to hit things really hard. I think this set could be pretty good. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the most competitive Grimmsnarl set, but I always like to throw one of these into every video. This is like your for fun set. I think this could be a set that a lot of people might enjoy using. I think Prankster and Bulk Up is interesting synergy on a Pokemon like this, and that's why I want to include this in this video for you guys. So some pros and cons about Grimmsnarl to summarize what we're talking about today. Obviously, it's got decent offensive power. It's not the biggest wall breaker in the world, but 120 with good stabs is going to be pretty decent. Obviously, you can also run that Adamant Nature, and that's going to help it a lot. Prankster is a good ability, and it does have the chance to make use of Prankster with its move pool. So it is obviously a good ability that brings competitive viability to a lot of Pokemon that otherwise just would not have it. It's got a unique stab combination and good coverage move pool. So that's basically all kind of to say that its attacking move pool is solid. It's got what it needs to have. So its move pool wise, Grimmsnarl is fantastic. It's just an A+ mod for its move pool. The problem is it's very slow. So a lot of those move pools are and it's not really bulky enough to take the hit and then deal the damage back. So you're going to be hard pressed to find a way to get Grimmsnarl's offensive move pool into effect when it's not always getting those attacks off fast enough or taking the hit and then getting it off. So it's very slow and it's not very bulky. So those are some huge hurdles for Grimmsnarl to overcome. Also, because of those same reasons, I just think because it's more of an offensively minded Pokemon, it's not really optimized to use Prankster that effectively. That's why I tried to make that bulk up set, to make a set that could use Prankster. I think Prankster is going to be more of like a tech option, where if your team really needs something that like could randomly drop up a Prankster Thunder Wave and slow down a sweeper, like if your team needs a emergency stop to a sweeper running rampant against you, or you need to be able to stop a stall team with something like a Trick, I think that's when you're going to be best suited to use a Prankster on this Pokemon. But in general, like if you compare this to something like Klefki, it's really not optimized to make full use of Prankster, which is otherwise a great ability on a support Pokemon, but not necessarily on an offensive Pokemon like this. So it's not very bulky, pretty slow, and its stats don't really optimize prankster usage. So I wanted to give you guys a couple of options and some things to think about when you're building a team around Grimmsnarl. First up, the biggest thing you're going to want to compare with is cleaners. I think Pokemon that are really fast or really frail, and then fast, frail attackers appreciate Grimmsnarl because Grimmsnarl can help power. It can be a good wall breaker for your team, a good stall breaker, and power through some defensive Pokemon. And then leave them nice and chipped so that your offensive Pokemon can sweep up, clean up the scene later. Also, most notably, Steel types are a really good partner because Steel types are immune to those poison attacks. They're resistant to those fairy attacks. It's going to be a really good partner for your Grimmsnarl just as far as defensive synergy. So I think a Steel type is something you're definitely going to want to include on any team that has a Grimmsnarl. Some big threats obviously kind of make sense with what we were just talking about. Poison types are going to be a big problem for Grimmsnarl. It doesn't have a good move to hit poison types. Defensive fairy types, maybe even a bigger problem. It doesn't have a good move to hit defensive fairy types. And when its best covered moves aren't hitting that super effectively, it doesn't really have the chance to be successful against either of those types. This Pokemon doesn't get Earthquake, so that's pretty big against those poison types. Another thing you want to look out for is wall breaking. I did make that bulk up set, and that was a very defensively minded set, obviously, but unfortunately, a good wall breaker, especially one that can hit this thing super effectively. Like a powerful wall breaker will probably be able to 2-hit KO this thing with a good neutral move. Most Pokemon will be able to 2-hit KO with a super effective move, if not 1-hit KO it. It's just not that bulky. And those are going to be the biggest problems that Grimmsnarl runs into, I think, in the competitive metagame. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. Let me know if you're excited to use Grimmsnarl. It's a Pokemon that I think is just so interesting. It's a Pokemon that doesn't scream viability. It's not like an instant Slam Jam OU Pokemon. I think it's more of like a RU NU type Pokemon, but it's a really interestingly designed Pokemon where it kind of provokes you to think about, what does my team need when I'm slotting this Pokemon in? What do I want to support it with? What does it support? I think it's a really well-designed Pokemon from a team-building, thought-provoking perspective. Maybe not the most competitive Pokemon you'll see in the Sword and Shield metagame, though. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to comment, subscribe, like the video. You guys, that means a lot to me when you guys do that. And this support that I've gotten has really been motivating me to keep pumping out the videos. When people request videos like this on this scale, it just makes me so excited to come home and just make videos for you guys, and I've really been enjoying it. So if you want to drop the sub, leave a comment down below, even just sharing this video with a friend or like on a social media site, any of those things would be absolutely awesome. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Krakenation out.